Artur Beterbiev doesn't box, he demolishes. With a face carved from stone and fists built to break bone, he's the only world champion with a 100% knockout ratio. No scorecards, no debates, just destruction. When he enters the ring, there's no dancing, no games, just a slow, surgical unraveling of anyone brave enough to stand across from him. He's not loud. He doesn't chase clout. He lets his hands do the talking, and they speak the language of violence. From Canada to Chechnya, his name carries weight like a sledgehammer. But outside the ring, he's calm, disciplined, rich. With a multi-million-dollar fortune built on knockouts and dominance, he enjoys the fruits of war. Sleek black Mercedes, high-end real estate in Montreal, and a quiet life of faith and family. No flash, no flex, just silent power. He's not just undefeated, he's untouched. Not a product of hype, a product of hurt. So before we break down the rise, the rage, and the wrecking machine that is Artur Beterbiev, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Because this isn't just a fighter's story. It's a chilling reminder that in boxing, power doesn't shout. It ends you. Born on January 21st, 1985, in the rugged heart of the North Caucasus, Beterbiev's path was never about glamour or fame. It was survival. His eyes tell a story of hardship before they ever saw the bright lights of professional arenas. Before the world titles, before the highlight reel knockouts, there was grit, honed in the freezing gyms of Dagestan and later refined through years of disciplined training in Russia and Canada. He wasn't sculpted by hype. He was forged by struggle. By the time he entered the professional ring in 2013, he carried with him the kind of resume that made other fighters nervous. 2 European championship golds, a world championship gold, an Olympic campaign that fell short of glory but proved one thing. This man could hang with anyone. But nothing prepared the world for what was coming next. 20 opponents, 20 knockouts, each more vicious than the last. The kind of streak that didn't just get fans talking, it got champions ducking. You didn't fight Artur Beterbiev. You survived him. And if you didn't, you found yourself crumpled on the canvas, staring up at the lights, wondering how everything unraveled so quickly. By 2024, he wasn't just another title holder. He was the undisputed king of the light heavyweight division. The first man since Roy Jones Jr. to hold that honor, and the only one to do it in the brutal, belt-splintered era of modern boxing. He didn't win the fans over with trash talk or viral antics. He did it the old-school way, with violence, precision, and quiet confidence. Outside the ropes, he is almost an enigma. Quiet, grounded, focused. He's not fighting for attention. He's fighting because this is what he was made to do. His net worth, estimated around $6 million, is a reflection not of showmanship, but of ruthless efficiency. Each punch, each round, each title, earned. But as he nears the twilight of his career, one question remains. After dominating an entire division with unrelenting power and flawless execution, what happens when the unstoppable finally meets a challenge that can punch back? Long before Artur Beterbiev became one of the most feared punchers in modern boxing, he was just a boy growing up in the harsh, mountainous terrain of Dagestan. He started his journey not in the boxing gym, but on wrestling mats. Freestyle wrestling was his first love, a discipline that built his strength, discipline, and competitive fire. But it was his father, a former athlete himself, who saw something more in his son. He steered young Artur into boxing, a decision that would alter the course of both their lives. And once he entered the ring, he never looked back. By the time he reached the international stage, Beterbiev was a menace in the amateur ranks. His rise was ferocious. He fought over 300 times and won nearly all of them. He wasn't just winning. He was outclassing future champions and world-level contenders with terrifying precision and power. In 2006, his name first echoed across Europe when he claimed gold at the European Amateur Championships. That same year, he suffered a loss to two-time world champion Yevgeny Makarenko, a defeat that cut deep but didn't destroy him. Instead, he came back the following year and avenged that loss, qualifying for the 2007 World Championships, where he made another bold statement. But the moment that truly marked him as a future great came later that year, when he faced off against Alexander Usyk, a name that would eventually define greatness in the heavyweight division. Beterbiev outworked and outpunched the future undisputed champ, showing a glimpse of the raw force and technical brilliance that would become his calling card. And yet, even with that stunning victory, Olympic gold would remain a dream just out of reach. In the 2008 Beijing Olympics, he lost a controversial decision to China's Zhang Xiaoping, the eventual gold medalist. 4 years later, in London 2012, it was Usyk who returned the favor, defeating Beterbiev in the heavyweight bracket. 2 Olympic heartbreaks. 2 chapters closed. But he wasn't finished. He was just beginning to turn the page. In 2013, at age 28, Artur Beterbiev made a bold decision. He moved to Montreal, Canada, and turned professional. Unlike many amateurs who spend years transitioning into the pro game, he exploded onto the scene with immediate impact. His debut was a thunderous second-round TKO against Christian Cruz. From that moment on, it was clear this wasn't your average prospect. This was a wrecking ball in gloves. He wasn't just knocking out opponents. He was dismantling them. His power was chilling, his technique tight and efficient. He stalked with the patience of a sniper and struck with the force of a sledgehammer. The boxing world took serious notice in September 2014 when he faced former IBF champ Tavoris Cloud. Cloud had never been dropped in his career, but Beterbiev knocked him down 3 times in the first round and finished the fight in the second. That night, a legend was being carved, one violent, clinical performance at a time. But his rise wasn't without setbacks. Between 2015 and 2017, he was locked in a bitter promotional dispute with Yvon Michel. Fights fell apart. Title eliminators disappeared. Big names ducked. Inactivity crept in. Yet, through it all, he stayed patient, stayed focused, stayed dangerous. Finally, in November 2017, he got a shot at a world title. Facing Germany's Enrico Colling for the vacant IBF light heavyweight belt, he put on a masterclass in pressure and brutality. Though Colling lasted until the 12th round, the outcome was inevitable. Artur was now a world champion, and his perfect knockout streak remained untouched. In 2018, he defended his title against the hard-hitting Callum Johnson. In the second round, Johnson shocked the boxing world by sending Beterbiev to the canvas. It was the first and only time Artur had been knocked down as a pro. But like a wounded beast, he rose, regrouped, and delivered a knockout in the 4th. The message was clear. Even when hurt, he is never out of the fight. By 2019, the hunt for unification was on. After signing with Top Rank, he defended his title against Radivoj Kalajdzic in May, stopping him in the 5th. Then came the defining moment of his career, a unification bout with WBC champion Alexander Gvozdyk. Gvozdyk was slick, intelligent, and undefeated. For 9 rounds, the fight was close, with Gvozdyk even leading on the scorecards. But Beterbiev never stopped coming forward. In the 10th round, he unleashed a savage assault, dropping Gvozdyk 3 times and forcing the stoppage. He now held 2 world titles and had knocked out every man he'd faced. Then came COVID-19, halting the sport and his momentum. But even after 519 days out of the ring, he returned in 2021 to stop Adam Dines in 10 rounds. In December of the same year, he defended against Marcus Brown. An accidental head but opened a deep, dangerous cut between Beterbiev's eyes. Blood poured, but so did the punishment. He broke Brown down and finished him in the 9th, once again proving his durability matched his devastation. In June 2022, he took on WBO champion Joe Smith Jr. in New York. It was billed as a war between 2 knockout artists. It ended in 2 rounds. Smith never stood a chance. He unified 3 belts and solidified his reputation as the most feared man in the division. Then came a true war. Anthony Yard, January 2023. Beterbiev looked vulnerable, even trailing on the scorecards, but as always, he found a way. In the 8th round, he ended it. That's what separates him. A refusal to lose, a will that doesn't break. The pinnacle came in October 2023, against the undefeated tactician Dmitry Bivol for the undisputed light heavyweight crown. For 12 tense rounds, it was chess and war. Beterbiev's pressure earned him a majority decision victory. He was now undisputed, unchallenged, unmatched. But boxing doesn't allow peace to last long. In February 2024, Bivol returned for the rematch, and this time he got it right. In another razor-close contest, he edged out Beterbiev by majority decision, handing the Dagestani warrior his first professional loss. Still, the story isn't over. At 39, he remains a lion in winter, wounded perhaps, but far from finished. Because Artur Beterbiev was never just about knockouts. He was about fire, about will, about the kind of strength that doesn't fade with age, it only sharpens with time. Despite his world being shaped by violence and power, it was the strength of his family and faith that set the foundation for everything he would become. A fighter in the ring, yes, but also a father, a husband, and a man who holds his values close to his heart. When Artur moved to Montreal, Canada, seeking new opportunities, his journey took on a new direction. It was here, in the quiet streets of Quebec, that he met Medina, a woman from his homeland. Though little is known about her personal life, Medina shuns the spotlight, preferring to stay out of the media's gaze. It's clear that her presence in Artur's life is pivotal. She became the anchor in his world, providing stability amidst the whirlwind of his career. Together, they build a life that's private, yet strong, raising 4 children, 2 sons and 2 daughters, away from the prying eyes of the public. His desire to protect his family from the pressures of fame speaks volumes about his character. In a world that constantly seeks to expose, to scrutinize, Artur has drawn a firm line. His Muslim faith is another key part of his identity, guiding him through life's trials. He follows the teachings of Islam, drawing strength from the beliefs that shape his actions and decisions. But his bond to his roots doesn't end there. In October 2024, after an epic victory, he was honored with an honorary citizenship from the Chechen Republic, a recognition of his achievements and a tribute to the man who carries his heritage with him every day. In 2017, his career faced a daunting setback, one that had little to do with punches or opponents. His long-standing relationship with promoter Yvon Michel took a turn for the worse, landing him in the middle of a bitter legal dispute. A contract that he believed had expired was still being enforced by Michel, who claimed that Beterbiev was still bound to him until 2021. The terms of the agreement, especially the unpaid purse from a 2015 fight against Isidro Prieto, were at the heart of the issue. The legal battle dragged on for months, forcing him to fight just once in 2017 and 2018, while his boxing future hung in the balance. As the case wound its way through court, his focus shifted from the gym to the courtroom, where he had to fight for the right to move on with his career. Despite the frustration and inactivity, his resilience never wavered. In the end, a settlement was reached. Beterbiev, relieved and thankful, could finally leave the legal chaos behind. I am relieved and happy to now be able to focus 100% on my training and my performances in the ring, he said, a sentiment that would become the foundation of his future successes. With the contractual dispute behind him, Beterbiev entered a new phase of his career. He briefly aligned with Eddie Hearn and matchroom boxing, but like a man who is used to forging his own path, he quickly moved on from Hearn's promotion. He found his true home with Top Rank and ESPN, marking the beginning of a new chapter that would lead him to undisputed light heavyweight glory. While some boxers flash their wealth with sprawling estates and Instagram-worthy displays of excess, Beterbiev walks a different path. His success is undeniable. He's undefeated, a unified light heavyweight world champion, but you won't see him living like a celebrity influencer. Instead, you'll find him in a quiet Montreal neighborhood, tucked away from the chaos of the spotlight. His home isn't a palace, but it's everything he needs. It's comfortable and functional, a reflection of the man who lives by structure and order. There's no gaudy decor or oversized chandeliers, just a clean, minimalist space built for peace and productivity. The walls carry few distractions, and the atmosphere is calm, almost monk-like. In a world that worships noise and excess, his choice of residence speaks volumes. It's not about luxury. It's about efficiency, about giving his mind the stillness it needs between battles. Yet, make no mistake, Beterbiev does appreciate power and performance. It shows in his cars. A sleek, black BMW M8 competition and a bold, imposing Mercedes AMG GLE coupe. The M8 is a machine that mirrors his style in the ring. Fast, aggressive, and precise. Its 617 horsepower engine purrs with menace, just like his right hand. The AMG GLE coupe, with its muscular build and refined interior, reflects another side of him: control, command, and class. But don't expect to see either vehicle flaunted online. Beterbiev doesn't post his lifestyle for likes. He lives for the work, not the applause. Every morning at 7 a.m., his day begins with the rhythm of an athlete obsessed with mastery. Training isn't just physical, it's mental warfare. He swings sledgehammers to build strength, runs drills that punish his limits, and fine-tunes his conditioning with the same precision he uses to dismantle opponents. Before big fights, he often trains at night, chasing that edge in solitude. Diet, recovery, rest, it's all measured, controlled, and purposeful. He's lived like this for years. Since his early days in the Olympic Reserve School, Beterbiev has followed a routine forged in fire. Unshakable, unwavering. He values silence over spectacle, work over words. And as he continues to dominate the ring, one question lingers. Can a life so fiercely disciplined ever allow for peace when the fighting finally stops? Before you go, don't miss out on exclusive perks. Click the link in the description to become a channel member and enjoy awesome benefits, like suggesting future video topics, getting early access to new content 48 hours before anyone else, and much more. Your support means the world and helps us keep bringing you the stories you love. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more amazing content. And while you're here, why not check out our deep dive into Daniel Dubois' video? Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.